Let's get back to the boxing while Spencer is in studio with us here. Two Mexicans, Spence, go head-to-head this Saturday night in Vegas. I mean, this should be something else. As Canelo Alvarez makes his fourth consecutive defence of his undisputed super middleweight world title this Saturday night, as I say, against Jaime Munguia in Las Vegas. My goodness me, when you look at the credentials, Canelo we know all about, 60 fights, 39 KOs. Munguia is 43-0 with 34 knockouts. What on earth has got to give here?
Listen, it's a great fight. Munguia, I think for the British fight fans, beat John Ryder last time out. Stopped John Ryder, actually. He's a very tall, rangy fighter, but fights well on the inside as well. This is a great fight. A great fight. I mean, Canelo Alvarez will start a big favourite in this one, but Munguia, he can really fight. As you say, 34 knockouts in the 40-odd victories that he's had. Yeah, I like him. It's a fantastic fight.
Honestly, I mean, Simon, it as you would always say, it's a pick-em. This actually is. And I never thought I'd say that about any fight that Canelo's in.
Yeah, I still think that Canelo will have the juice to do it. You know, I'd like to see if he wants to fight David Benavidez.
Yes.
That's the fight that he doesn't want to have.
Yeah.
But I think this is a great fight. But I think Canelo Alvarez will have just about enough to deal with him. But it will be a compelling fight. And what's even more compelling is the battle of words between Oscar de la Hoya
I love that.
and Canelo Alvarez. And given the fact I speak a bit of Spanish, I know precisely what they were saying to one another, and it wasn't particularly complimentary. It was the worst kind of insults.
So, Spence, now we know we're 2 weeks out from Fury Usyk. Have we found the only man who seems to err on the side of Usyk going in and winning it? This was George Groves with us early.
Like every opinion, as the fight gets closer, you doubt creeps in. I still think Usyk's the favourite. I think Usyk wins this fight. You see Fury now, he looks in much better shape than he was before, and you think, oh, well, maybe, but I just think off not just their most recent performances, but over their pool of the past 2 years of work, you've got to pick Usyk to beat Fury. He's up against a giant, 6'9", very effective fighter, but I just think that the years have been kinder to Usyk, and he's in better form, and I can see him winning. Like I can't see Fury winning.
He can't see Fury winning. I mean, and George was resolute. We went into a commercial break after that, and again he went over the reasons why he takes Usyk, Spence.
Yeah, listen, he's right in what he says. As the fight draws closer, doubts do creep in. And I'm the other way, actually, because obviously we've been big on Tyson Fury winning the fight, the physicalities, the size. You know, he's got a great boxing IQ like Usyk, and that's how he normally works things out, and he puts his foot on the gas and normally picks it up in the last half of the contest. But as the fight draws closer, yeah, of course you can see Alexander Usyk winning. You know, if he can fiddle his way through it and sort of pick the pace up in that second half. But I'm still with Tyson Fury. I think that he'll get himself into that condition. He knows what he's going into. I think it's a fantastic fight. Listen, it's a 60-40 fight for me, but I go for Tyson Fury to win that one. It's a great fight.
Simon, I'm looking at a massive number of messages come in while we talk boxing for the hour between 12 and 1. A big number of messages since his name came up into conversation. Anthony Yarde. There's one, there's Rob. I'll just pick one at random. Yarde against Buatsi would be absolutely immense. I hope this can be arranged. I mean, do you agree with that? Would that be an absolute barnstormer?
I think it'd be a great fight. I think Yarde against Callum Smith or Buatsi against Callum Smith would be a great fight. Whether the risk-reward ratio gives you the return, because I think the Yarde-Buatsi fight seems to have a little bit more potency about it, and Callum Smith comes with a little bit more risk and maybe not just as much reward.
Yeah.
But you've obviously got this issue with Frank and Yarde over a contractual dispute, and Frank's quite adamant that Yarde is under contract to him and will do as he's told. Yarde seems to be listening to other people, telling him to do something different. And I'm not entirely sure that that's right, because I think in this instance, and in a lot of instances with Frank, the fighters get pretty good deals. They get the fights that they want. They get the shots that they get. Daniel Dubois had a world title shot against Alexander Usyk. Anthony Yarde got a very early opportunity to beat Kovalev, didn't he?
Yeah.
And had an opportunity to do that. Then he got another match against Beterbiev. So there is a little bit of like,
Dubois now going in against Hrgovic. That looks likely to be for the IBF title as
I
well.
like Anthony Yarde, but maybe you should have a little bit more respect for the opportunity.
We're going to finish on this one today. It's the 25th of this month in Leeds, the rematch between Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. And I know up in Scotland, a lot of people are going to follow Taylor down to Yorkshire and head to Leeds for that fight. Ahead of it, Josh has been speaking with Adam Catterall about the sacrifices he's made to take the Catterall fight, and Saudi Arabia playing a part in those sacrifices.
I actually got asked about this. I'm pretty sure it was you. The last time as well we spoke was, oh, have you been offered to go out in Saudi and stuff? I says, well, actually there has been talk of it, but I shut it down. You know, like, why would the biggest fight, in my opinion, in the UK in terms of obviously the last fight and then the hype up to this one and the interest in it, why would you take it all away from the UK fans who die-hard fans? You know, the best fans in boxing is the people in the UK, you know, because they're so passionate and they're so up for it and picking sides and here and there, and they'll travel all around the country to go to all these shows. So why take one of the biggest fights that's happening in the UK and take it over to the Middle East just to potentially get a little bit more money? No, it's a UK fight. For me, I think it's a UK fight for the UK fans, and at a time when, you know, people are struggling and stuff like that now as well. People need to have something to look forward to, and it needs to be in the UK.
I love that. And Josh Taylor, that full interview goes out Saturday night on talkSPORT and Fight Night with you, Spencer, and Gareth A. Davis. That's from 9. What about what Taylor is saying there? A lot of British fight fans will think, good on you. Thank goodness you've said that.
Look, it's a much bigger fight over here on these shores. I think if that did end up abroad, it would go on one of the undercards somewhere. It'd get swallowed up, you know. It'd just be another fight on the undercard. But I think here, you know, there's a lot of interest in that still, with the controversy surrounding the first fight. You know, he's talking about sacrifices he made there. Them sacrifices are going back down to 140, and you've got to respect him for taking the fight at 140, because that's a weight I think he's outgrown, and I think that might be the undoing for him going into this contest. But yeah, that's what I think he's talking about, Jim. Maybe.
And are you Team Catterall or Team Taylor?
I think at 140, I think that Catterall wins the fight.
Simon, you go the other way, I think.
I do, yeah. I think it will be a brilliant fight. I wouldn't be surprised either which way, but I think if Josh Taylor recaptures any of the form and the ability to fight at that weight that we think that potentially challenges him, then I think he's got the class to overcome Jack.
Absolutely. Different class today. Spencer, thank you so much for everything there. Many people so interested in that fight we were talking about earlier on, getting in touch with us this lunchtime on talkSPORT. Billum Smith against Reactbar. These two will go head-to-head, Selhurst Park, on the 15th of June, and tickets are on sale now. Ben Shalom is gone, but be happy with that.